Money can't buy happiness, right? However, don't you wish you had enough money to buy anything you wanted, whenever you wanted, without worrying about whether or not you could afford it? Most of us dream about having enough funds to buy a luxury home, a Lamborghini, or even a yacht. A billionaire, on the other hand, can afford to enjoy any luxury. Is $2 billion too much for a house? Is $4.5 billion a fair price for a yacht? How much do you think a private jet should cost? Do you think $400 million is a reasonable amount? To put it simply, these are some of the world's most expensive things. Nonetheless, not one of them approaches the cost of what many consider to be the priciest item on the globe. Each gram of antimatter will set you back $62.5 trillion. Yeah, you heard that correctly. You may be wondering what antimatter is. Well, antimatter was first theorized to exist in 1928 by English scientist Paul Dirac, but it took another expert 4 years to confirm its authenticity. To sum it all up, antimatter is made up of particles that are the same as those that make up regular matter, except they have the opposite charge. So, what makes antimatter so valuable? First and foremost, it is extremely rare. Antimatter is difficult to come by in nature, but it can be created in particle accelerators. Moreover, using antimatter has a wide range of potential uses. Experts are optimistic that it will revolutionize cancer diagnosis, or that it might be used to produce rocket fuel. Be that as it may, what about all the other expensive things? Why are they so impressive? Rich people can afford to pursue whatever hobby or passion they like, no matter how far it may push the budget. Some people will pay through the nose for the absolute best or one-of-a-kind product. Therefore, if you need some inspiration, we've got you covered with the 10 most expensive things in the world in 2023. So keep watching on and start saving some money, because cash is king on this list. And after that, tell us if money can buy happiness or not. Number 10. Paul Gauguin's Nafia Fa Ipoipo painting, $300 million. Paul Gauguin, known as the father of primitivism, set sail for Tahiti in 1891 in search of a poetic paradise where he could create pure primitive art. In his quest to find spiritually pure societies that had not undergone modernization, he wanted to leave behind European culture, technology, and customs. When Will You Marry was painted during Gauguin's first trip to Tahiti. Two women, both recurring subjects in Gauguin's previous paintings, are shown here, one in traditional Tahitian outfit and the other in missionary garb. The seeming inconsistency in attire is indicative of the rapid social transformation taking place in Tahiti at the time. Primitivism is easily recognized in the picture due to its exaggerated, idealized depictions of shapes, vivid shades, and warped sense of perspective. Paul Gauguin's use of colors was a big step forward, and it led to the style of Fauvism and Expressionism. Number 9. The Dreamjet BBJ 787 $300 million. The door to the world's largest and most lavish private jet were opened for the Dubai Air Show. Private aviation company Dearjet hired UAS, one of its strategic partners, to handle all charter operations for the first private Boeing 787, also known as the Dreamjet. It's easy to see why, with its fully equipped entertainment lounge, dining area, and bedroom, all complete with a 42-inch TV. Each master bedroom has its own private dressing area and bathroom with a shower for two. Passengers will be given tablets to use for making requests to flight attendants and adjusting the cabin's entertainment. The plane is part of Boeing's line of business jets, which are used by very rich people who want the privacy of a private jet but need a plane the size of an airliner for their frequent flights. Number 8. Leonardo da Vinci's Salvatore Mundy painting, $450 million. At one point, it was thought that Salvatore Mundy had vanished forever. In 1900, Sir Charles Robinson purchased the painting, which had been missing since 1763, under the assumption that it was created by Bernardino Luini, a disciple of Leonardo's. After that, it was auctioned off again in 1958, this time at Sotheby's in England, where it fetched $125. It vanished once more until 2005, when it was finally purchased at a modest American auction shop. Despite the fact that some reputable specialists on Renaissance art challenged the attribution to Leonardo, the painting sold at Christie's in New York in November 2017 for $450,312,500, a new record for the price of artwork. There was no mention of the buyer. Number 7. Villa Leopolda, $506 million. The remarkable Villa Leopolda may be found on the heights of the Vallefranche-sur-Mer at the Cairo Pass between Nice and Monaco, with a breathtaking view of the Mediterranean. It's considered to be among the world's most expensive places to live, in the top 3 by some accounts. Once upon a time, the land belonged to the King Leopold II of Belgium and later served as a military hospital during World War I. The Countess Therese Vitali bought the estate in 1919 and had it renovated. Nevertheless, Ogden Codman Jr., an American architect and interior decorator, was the creator of the magnificent Palladian house we see today. Villa Leopolda, which has housed everyone from monarchs to business tycoons over the years, is a significant part of European history thanks to its unique combination of royal heritage and cutting-edge, outstanding construction and interior design. Number 6. The 105-carat Kohinoor Diamond, $591 million. The Indian jewel that has become a superstar of London's crown jewel has a terrible past connected to colonial conquest. The diamond was mined from alluvial deposits in India, and it was considered sacred by Hindu belief, despite the bad luck that seemed to follow its owners. The Kohinoor Diamond, as it was afterward named, was caught up in the web of intrigues at the Indian court before it made its way to the British crown jewels in the mid-1800s. The diamond was eventually given to Queen Victoria as a personal treasure. The Queen originally wore it as a brooch, but it later became part of the crown jewels and was initially set into the crown of Queen Alexandra, the wife of Edward VII, Victoria's eldest son. The crown came into the limelight most recently when it was placed on the coffin of Queen Elizabeth II during her funeral. Number 5. The B-2 Spirit, a long-range multi-role bomber, $1.3 billion. The B-2 Spirit is an adaptable bomber that can drop both conventional and nuclear weapons. It can rapidly deploy huge firepower anywhere in the world, even in the face of heavily fortified targets. It's an impressive technological advance and a watershed moment in the United States bomber modernization program. To this day, its capacity to bypass air defenses and promise potent retribution makes it a formidable combat force and deterrent. When compared to other bombers, the B-2 has a lot of advantages because of its unique mix of low observable technologies, good aerodynamic efficiency, and a large payload. Because of its limited observability, the aircraft can operate more freely at high altitudes, expanding its range and providing better visibility for its sensors. It can travel about 6,000 nautical miles, 9,600 kilometers before needing to refuel. Number 4. The Antilia Mansion, $2 billion. Mukesh Ambani is the second richest man in India, one of the 5 richest people in Asia, and the 8th richest person in the world according to the Forbes list of billionaires for 2022. The owner of Reliance Industries is renowned for having some of the most expensive items. From ultra-luxurious jets to a fleet of one-off cars, Mukesh Ambani's goods are exceptional, but nothing comes close to his residence in Antilia, which in terms of value is second only to the British royal family's official home, Buckingham Palace. Number 3. Hubble Space Telescope, $2.1 billion. Despite its age and relatively small size, the Hubble Space Telescope is still among the greatest telescopes ever made. With optics that are nearing the end of their 3rd decade of use, the 2.4-meter Hubble mirror is about par for the course for modern research telescopes. This is in stark contrast to the massive 8 to 10-meter telescopes that have been built on the ground and the even larger ones that are planned for the future. Yet the Hubble Space Telescope routinely exceeds several of the most capable ground-based instruments. Without a doubt, it is the holy grail of optical and ultraviolet astronomy. Number 2. History's Supreme Yacht, $4.8 billion. We've seen some lavish boats, but nothing compares to the 100-foot History Supreme. The British luxury gadget dealer Stuart Hughes took time away from his job as an iPad magician to design the $4.8 billion super yacht, which is plated in platinum and gold from stem to stern and was purchased by a Malaysian businessman. The man behind the acquisition is reportedly Robert Cook, the wealthy founder of Shangri-La Hotel and Resorts. But aside all that, the yacht has an engine that is considered to be among the best in the world. Not a soul seems to mind the bumpy ride as they rocket through the water at high speed. Number 1. The International Space Station, $150 billion. Our minds immediately jump to the Burj Khalifa, the Taj Mahal, or maybe a jet fighter aircraft when we hear the phrase, the most expensive thing ever built. You might be astonished, though, to learn that none of these is the actual answer. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, when it comes to development and construction costs, the International Space Station tops the list at a whopping $150 billion. The ISS is the largest modular space station ever built and costs NASA $4 billion a year just to operate. Every day, a reality TV show is broadcast on massive screens in mission control rooms in Houston, Moscow, and Munich. It is the least interesting show you could watch. There is no danger, no suspense, and no romance. You might get lucky to see an astronaut as he or she floats by the camera in space.